Good Sunday, guys. We are here cooking again. We're making chicken parm, and it's one of my personal favorite dishes in terms of getting messy and not worrying about how technically healthy it is. So, first off, we're going to get a couple of technical things out the way. I'm going to go preheat the oven. Introduce you to my sous chef who's here today.
Hello, I'm back. One day back from Ireland, so.
So we're gonna get some technical things taken care of.
Chicken parm is chicken parmesan, right?
Yes, chicken parmesan. We're gonna go over why the name is interesting in a minute because it's mostly mozzarella. But you guys can take a quick look at the ingredients real quick, and we'll be right back.
Take pictures.
Alright guys, so we're going to go over really quickly what the ingredients are. I'm sure we're going to have to go over it again. But up here for the chicken parm and the marinara sauce, it's more or less the same thing. So we're going chicken breast, egg, breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, all-purpose flour, olive oil, linguine or spaghetti, whole peeled garlic, Roma tomatoes, fresh mozzarella, basil, provolone cheese, Parmesan cheese, and then our cook time, 15 minutes to prep, about 45 minutes to cook. We're just letting stuff sit, and then an hour and a half total with everything sitting and getting ready. And then, salt and pepper to taste as always. ChefJelani.com for more of this stuff. Jelani. I got people telling me that they always need to know that. And it's Jelani Nichols on Facebook. So if you come over here, we're going to take a quick look at what we're doing. These are Roma tomatoes. Roma tomatoes are very, very good in terms of how sweet they are because they're mostly meat and not so much the juice that's on the inside. And I prefer these for, sauces and roasting because it's more hearty and less watery. So I have a bunch of those just cut up in half. They're really easy. We're going to roast these and roast some garlic to get our sauce started. And then we have all of our stuff over here. We have our mozzarella cheese, our Parmesan cheese, our spaghetti or linguine if you want to use linguine. My personal favorite secret ingredient, chicken stock. You don't have to use this if you want to keep it vegetarian. Breadcrumbs, crushed tomatoes. This is another ingredient I use. If you can use this, you can use all tomatoes roasted, but this will keep the consistency nice and pasta-y and not so tomato pasty. Then we have all our seasonings over here: fresh basil, kosher salt, oil, red pepper, fresh, just more basil. You need a lot of basil for this, so I have 2 separate cups of it. Pepper, ground oregano, ground basil, ground dried basil. Again, a lot of basil in this. I have roasted garlic. I'm going to go over how to roast your garlic, but we're going to roast tomatoes.
Those roasted garlics look so good.
Right, so we're going to roast our tomatoes, but the same process goes for roasting anything. So I roast my garlic, I roast my basil sometimes. Then we have all-purpose flour, and then 1 egg per chicken breast. We're going to go 1 chicken breast today. So here we go in terms of starting it off.
You have Maya is watching, and Natalie is watching, ex-Kizzen is watching. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Sydney says hi.
Welcome. Very nice to see you all. Chicken parm is definitely more of the first time I made it, I was with my friend. It was probably like 10 o'clock at night, and we were just hungry. All they had was tomatoes and cheese and chicken.
Okay, who makes chicken parmesan? at 10 o'clock at night. Jelani, see, that would be a sandwich.
Yeah, so I love chicken parmesan because I know what tomatoes can taste like when you roast them. I know what garlic can be like if you just roast it. And it's really easy. A lot of the stuff for this you have in your house, but you don't put it together.
I didn't know it would take so many tomatoes. Like when I saw you bring in all the tomatoes today, I thought it was too many.
Right, so this is the amount of tomatoes we're using for the dish. This is the tomato I suggest you use while you're cooking just to have some extra roasted tomatoes in your pantry. Roasted garlic and roasted tomatoes are one of those things where you can always keep them around and make them good. So for the recipe, we're just using 4 Roba tomatoes. We're going to chop them, roast them. But I'm roasting all of these just to make use of my time. Get some tomatoes in the house fridge. You put them in a salad with some cucumber and some vinaigrette. Very, very good. So we're going to, first I'm going to show you our cooking utensils. It's a little complicated today. We are cooking a tomato sauce and our chicken. And so I thought today would be a good idea, a good time to show you the difference in pans. Here we have iron, Teflon, ceramic, and copper. And they're all used in different ways for different reasons. And I'm sure some of you have, test them out and you can kind of guess what's best for what. But in general, here's what you don't do and which one. You don't put your tomato sauce in your copper pan. This is too reactive to acidic things, lemon juice and stuff. It more or less gives it the taste of copper. That's debatable, but in general, the rule is you don't put acidic stuff like juice tomatoes and that kind of thing in your copper. You want to use your ceramic for that kind of stuff. Ceramic is the perfect middle ground between copper and your Teflon. It's going to keep your eggs nice and floaty on top of the surface. You can keep it nice and cool. It's not going to heat up the handle at all. You can throw them in the oven. They're really all-purpose and they're great.
Natalie says you need to come make this for her. And
yes.
And you have some people saying that Kathleen says she loves the copper pan.
Yeah.
And you have Omashulo, excuse me if I said it wrong, watching all the way from New Zealand.
Oh, well, welcome from New Zealand. I know it's a different time zone over there. I'm not sure what time it is that you're watching it in.
And Susie's like the tomatoes. And you have Adebwale Salami. Forgive me if I pronounce it incorrectly. She sent hi Jelani from London. So you have all over the world. They're ready for some chicken parmesan.
Well, awesome. So just cut these lengthwise. Chicken parmesan is a very delicious, hearty meal in terms of how messy and filling it is. It doesn't cater to much vegetables, so we pile it on with basil to make up for that. You can put spinach, I'm sure. Fresh spinach, I wouldn't saute it. If you want to get that extra vegetable on the side, make a little spinach salad or something.
So why wouldn't you saute it?
It would be, in a dish like this, sauteed spinach would be a lot of fried and a lot of grease in terms of your palate. It's still the same in terms of healthiness and everything. It's just you want to go from a greasy, hearty burger to a nice, fresh salad. Or with this, we're going with pasta, so definitely you want to go with the fresh, greens on the side to counteract those heavy glutens in your rest of your dish. And this is definitely a healthy dish. You can make it healthy with low-fat cheese and organic tomatoes, and you cut down on the milk and you just use almond milk or something. But in general, when you go at this or something like the Philly cheesesteak, you go to the flavor, and the flavor doesn't really match with the healthiness in terms of your general cooking.
But there's pretty much everything that you use with this, there's a healthy replacement.
Right, everything has pretty much a healthy replacement. It just, a lot of it comes down to preparing your replacement in terms of skill and do you know how to cook it. Things like quinoa are harder to cook, but they're more the potential is more, it's greater. So we're gonna dive right in. If you can come over here, my sous chef, who's behind the camera right now.
I get to be helped
So
today.
my sous chef, I'm asking her to be in front of the camera with me. If you grab this pan behind you, the smaller one.
Right.
And so
I love doing
here's
stuff like this after I come from a long trip, because on my trip I have to be the answer to everything. Here,
right.
I just need to follow instructions. Yes, chef.
So we're going to take a little pasta in this. So we're going to take, I'm going to show you this first. This is a half pan. The full pans are what you usually see for catering. This is a half pan, just all wrapped up. I wrap it up because with things like this, you don't want to bake stuff onto your pan. I'm thinking longevity and easy cleanup, and so I do. I don't like washing dishes, so I wrap most of my stuff in foil so that I don't run into that problem. If anything, it's a quick wash out. I'm not scrubbing anything off of my pans afterwards. I do this with basically anything that's not too acidic. If it's just lemon juice in here, it will react with that aluminum over time with the heat, which is all food science.
I'm imitating Vanna. Remember Vanna White on what is that? The Price is Right? Vanna White.
I don't remember Vanna White.
You don't remember Vanna White?
So
well, here's Vanna Black.
So
that was her name for real.
It is.
I toss some tomatoes in the bowl, and then all I do is take some salt, throw it over here.
Let me pour some.
Right, and then oil. You can use as much oil as you want because it's just going to run off. That's good.
That's enough.
Right, so can you go ahead, love?
So I gotta tell the story. So Jelani, he is the chef that doesn't really like to put his hands inside of stuff and get them really dirty. He's never liked to get his hands really dirty. So I told him very early on, well, son, you don't have to get your hands dirty, but you need to learn how to do something with your mind. And so.
Plus, I just got a manicure last week, so in Beverly Hills. So I'm
really what?
So I'm keeping it.
That was while I was out of town. I would have told him there's a good spot over in LA, spot in Laguna, but you can go to Beverly Hills. So I bought him these cooking gloves, and I got a really good price for them. Let me show you them. Hold on.
They're saying it's Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, Wheel of Fortune. Well, yeah, Vanna White on Wheel of Fortune. Well, I'm Vanna Black on Creative Fortune. So this is Good Cook food prep gloves. So if you don't like to touch food, because I was surprised with Jelani, I assumed everyone that cooked liked to touch food.
No, especially with ground meat, I suggest this if you don't like making, ground meatballs or making tacos or something like. Just because you have to get your hands in there and it gets all over and stuff like that, the fat sticks on your hands and it's hard to wash off without liquid soap.
And if you're like him, he would wash his hands so many times while making a meatloaf or making meatballs, and he's washing all my meat down the sink.
Because I don't like the feeling of meat on my hands.
I'm like, dude, you washing all my meat down the sink, so save us awesome money.
Somebody's saying, what happened? It's gone. No, we're still here.
We're still here.
Let me see.
No, it's on. I'm looking.
So, what, Kathleen, you can't see us? It's alright, you'll get back to us eventually. So what I did is I put these in here. Let me turn this around so you can get that. Yeah, turn it this way. Right, cool. So I just tossed them in salt and oil. And I'm going to take these, put them in my oven, which I have at 450, about 500, on the lower rack, so they're roasting. I'll put these all face down so that they're all cooking at the same temperature. Alright, so put these in the oven, and then I'm going to show you guys what they look like when they come out. You guys can take a look over there again.
It's real important for you when you go to Jelani's Facebook page. It's Jelani Nichols, not Chef Jelani. Please, right now, go share with someone. People, we love to cook. Cooking and food are something we all collaborate and gather around. So share with your community to support him, to go. We're cooking chicken parmesan today. Take a screenshot of that so that you can make it, impress some people. You don't even have to tell them where you learned it. and your Jay's Marinara sauce. I love it when you write Jay's. That means he did a little something to customize it. And then there's your cooking time. It's really fast, as you can see. It makes, and then you can make enough to stack in your refrigerator for later.
All right, so here's what our roasted tomatoes look like. Again, I suggest you roast a lot of tomatoes so you can keep some of these for later. But what we're going to do is, excuse me, put these over here, is we're going to come over and look at this food processor. So we used the food processor before, but this is what I first wanted to get it for, was for making pasta sauces. What we do is we take our roasted garlic.
So yummy.
Right? And I was trying to get my my god sister Destiny to do this. But she doesn't like washing dishes just like me, so she skips this step. But what I do is I take my roasted garlic, I throw it in there, and I come over here and I grab all my tomatoes. They should just pop off because they're coated in oil. If you don't coat them in oil, what happens is they don't char and they start just falling apart, and you want to do this. And the reason you need a food processor, this stuff is good. The reason you need a food processor is because this is, you can pop in here and worry about it. The only thing I would worry about is putting stuff in here that would get too liquidy. You would probably get some issues. And we're going to just start seasoning this.
I got some issues when I did that, called a big, ugly mess.
You can also do it in a blender.
Yeah,
right. You could also do this in a blender. You don't need a food processor. If you have a blender or a Ninja, it all works just fine.
A bullet.
Right. Bullet, Ninja, all that stuff. So we're going to go with pepper to taste. So we're not done seasoning this. We're just going to start seasoning it. I season at most stages. We're going to go a pinch of dried basil and a pinch of dried oregano. And then a pinch of salt. All right. So you don't want to blend it too much. If you blend it too much, it gets too watery. You want it to still be chunky.
Is it time to taste it yet?
You can taste it. I would suggest tasting it now. Can you grab a plastic fork for me?
Okay.
Yes.
Plastic.
Yeah, if you want to.
Because he really doesn't want to wash dishes, and that's a major part of his doing the show, is clean the kitchen after you finish. Amen.
So it's really,
Wait, you didn't let me taste it.
Okay,
he did
that
that
was
on
my bad.
purpose.
That was my bad.
He did that on purpose.
Why only
That
half?
was my bad. Can you grab another plastic fork for me?
Really?
Can you just grab a couple so we can keep tasting them? That's good. This is good just with the roasted tomato and roasted garlic.
All right. That right there.
But I know what it's going to taste
What'd you say?
like.
The question?
She doesn't know what it's going to taste like.
I don't know what's gonna taste
Someone
like.
said, why only half of them? I don't.
Well, I only have what?
She won't finish it.
Maybe that's why half the tomatoes. We cut the tomatoes in half so we could put them all face down at the same time.
That's really good, just in the sauce.
Okay, come on.
So this is what I suggest you do instead of buying Prego. I suggest you just roast tomatoes and roast garlic.
He's talking to me because I buy Prego for spaghetti. I used to buy Prego, and then
Just
when
tomatoes.
he graduated from Le Cordon Bleu, all of a sudden I can't buy my
It's just
spaghetti sauce
tomatoes.
anymore. But this is really good.
That is really good. This
It's
stuff
really
is delicious.
good. So this is, let me just make sure. This is just roasted tomatoes. You put oil on them,
Right.
and you put them on foil. Put them in the oven for how long? I don't want to double dip. For how long?
You put them for about 30 minutes, 15 minutes on each side.
Come look
You
at
can
this
kick
closer.
up the heat to broil to heat that up, though.
And so you get it to it's nice and soft, and then you roast garlic, and the garlic you put oil on top of it.
Right. So roasting, everything is the same. You toss it in oil and salt, and you throw it in a 500-degree oven, and you just let it cook.
Okay, look, y'all write that down, because that right there, this can retire Prego. Like, I don't know if you know Prego, but you know spaghetti sauce. This, or whatever spaghetti sauce you need. This is, I've never done homemade spaghetti sauce. This is absolutely delicious. And when you look at the different spaghetti sauce with herb in it,
Right,
basil in it,
right.
it's just what they put in it on top of this.
Right, it's
So this
just-
could be basil and garlic. Would you to put this in there? Would you roast this with the tomato?
No, I would go raw with the basil.
Okay.
So that's why we go with the dry basil, so that we can go in here. The difference between dry and raw basil when you're mixing it in is raw basil will change the texture. If you just blend it in, you'll get the fibers of your plant. And if you go dry basil and dried oregano instead of live, there's a time and a place for everything.
So the difference between these two.
Right. So this will change your texture with the plant fibers and all this live material. And this is just nothing but the flavor, and you'll get that even more once you're cooking it. This is all the flavor already, basically.
So when you came back from Italy, you were like all crazy
Right.
about live stuff. You went
Right.
bananas about live stuff.
The thing is, I think live stuff is better eaten raw or lightly cooked. If you're going to cook it, you should go with the already dehydrated version.
That's a good distinction.
Right. Live herbs and veggies, you want to, unless you're making soup. Soup is the one X factor. You could just throw, the live stuff in, because you want your soup to have the flavor of live vegetables and stuff.
Okay.
So what we do now
You have
is
someone who said raw basil will make it muddy, colory, instead of the beautiful roasted red.
Right. So that person has put raw basil on in there, I'm guessing, because it does make it muddy. It turns it a weird brown color because you get the green chlorophyll and all that. You just don't want all the plant fiber to be in your sauce too much. You want it to be. That's why when we put it in soups, you don't blend it with your soup. You take them out after. You strain your soup with all the plant fiber in it. So we're going to move on to the actual soup making. We pour all of this deliciousness into a deep pan. Don't put it into a pot. There's a long time ago. Oh, thank you. A long time ago, I realized you shouldn't use a pot because it doesn't let you access the lower part of your sauce. You want to just cook it all at one time. Thank you. My camera person's really great. And then put this down, and then you start stirring this up. Let me grab something to hit this with. So when you're doing this, because it is a sauce and you want to keep a consistency that you like, I suggest you start it off at a consistency and then cook it down to what you want it to be. So right now I'm adding crushed tomato. When you go and shop, you're going to see a lot of different tomatoes in the can. You're going to see whole tomato, diced tomato. You're going to see pureed tomato. You're going to see all kinds of tomato, but crushed tomato is unique in the sense that they take out most of the tomato juice, and it's just the tomato meat. All the other ones, they keep the juice in it, and it's pretty juicy. But this is one of the chef tools we use to thicken up our chilies and thicken up our gumbos, is tomato paste. Tomato paste. Tomato paste or crushed tomato. There's a different name for it. I don't know what my mom was looking for.
I gave him, as his sous chef, I gave him the wrong spoon because he wouldn't use a metal spoon inside of that pan. So I was looking for the correct spoon,
It's
but
probably right here.
I flew yesterday 21 hours, so I'm walking kind of sideways today. So I was just trying to redeem my sous chefness.
Alright, so she knows how I like to cook. The wooden, it's just in general safer with the acidity and the type of pot we're using. Wooden spoons are old-timey, but they knew what they were doing. I think we advance too quickly sometimes. So at this point, I add in a little chicken stock. This is totally optional. I do it just to add a little flavor, and it thickens it up a little bit. So if you want to come in here. And when you're shopping for this, get stock and not broth, because broth has salt in it. The broth, they want you to buy and make chicken soup out of it. This they want you to buy and then make it, whatever else yourself. So we go about a quarter cup, about a third of a cup almost of chicken stock. And we just let that cook in. And then
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What does this tomato sauce add to that already delicious tomato sauce? What that would make?
Mostly consistency. Consistency and I don't know how to explain it. It's more of a. It's a flavor that comes with tomato paste. It's kind of like that lasagna tomatoey flavor. We're not making tomato. We're not making pasta sauce. We're making like a marinara type of sauce, and they're different. Marinara is more chunky, and when I first learned how to make marinara sauce, it was from an Italian guy, and the way he made it was he just put tomatoes in a pot and let them cook down into a juice. And so we kind of do the same thing with the tomatoes and the tomato crushed.
Did you learn the majority of your Italian cooking while you were in Italy?
The majority of it, yes, but when I came back to the States, I went to school, and so I seeked out the Italian chefs there, and so a lot of it came from them too, because they're Italian and classically trained at the same time.
And we cook Italian food as Americans a lot different than Italians.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the biggest difference?
The biggest difference when they cook, I can say, is they cook slower. They cook throughout the day, and we cook kind of like all at one time. Like they'll start their meal the day before by marinating their garlic. They marinate their garlic in salted oil. That way they have oil flavored garlic and then garlic flavored oil. It makes it all the better, right?
We went to Italy. I went with him for 8 days, but he stayed for over 30 days. And we cooked with a chef. We cooked with 2 chefs. And I was blown away at the way that they just revered the vegetables. Like, revered the vegetables. And just the time, Jelani's right, the time that they put inside cooking. There was this dish, and Jelani, hopefully you'll make it one day, and I don't even know the name of it, but we were in, where were we, Rome or Palermo, with the gentleman, the chef who learned how to cook from his mom. And he took the eggplant. Restaurant Chin Chin.
Chin Chin.
In Palermo?
That was
Sicily.
Yeah.
In Sicily. And we, it was an eggplant. And he put what we would call a panko crust.
The eggplant steaks.
It was an eggplant steak, you guys. Oh my God. But he made the crust. We made it. He had us make it. And we fried it. Like, we did the whole thing. He just pointed what to do. It was the best.
Same guy taught me pesto. I won't ever forget it. His pesto recipe.
The best.
Pistachios and oil. So good. If you guys want to, we'll make pesto one day when we go on pastas. But if you guys want to just know, pesto is just getting a ninja. You put basil and pistachios and oil and then salt. And that's the base for your pesto.
It was so good. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe I'd never seen pesto out of a container, number one. And we made it in this other steak, eggplant steak, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Great. It's great for vegetarians, but it's also great for meat lovers. Like, I eat meat, but I didn't have any lack. When I ate that, it felt robust and it was delicious and it was just great. He learned some.
Bless you.
God bless you. He learned some great things over in Italy, and he stayed 30 days after I left. So he was just getting started, and he cooked over in Tuscany, and he cooked over in Venice and Florence.
Right, Florence, Venice, Sicily, Rome.
It was my rites of passage that I took him to. One of the things that I love doing with my money is I love creating experiences for my family that could be life-changing or just fun or memorable. So for Jelani, when he graduated high school at 17,
sorry, I keep having to cut across.
When he graduated high school at 17, if I moved up, he wouldn't have to go across me. That's my fault. I asked him, "What do you want to do?" And he said, "I want to cook." I said, "Oh, great. Well, I'm hungry. Go in the kitchen. Grab a pot." He goes, "No, Mom. I want to cook all around the world." And so I said, "Where does that look like to you?" He goes, "I want to go to the Caribbeans, and I want to go to Italy." And I don't think he thought that I was going to actually send him there. But,
No, because we started with a U.S. tour And then she asked me if it wasn't the U.S., where would you go?
If you can go anywhere you want to go, son. After all, when he was 8 months, I said I was going to transform our lives, both of our lives. And so what greater honor than to go, what do you want to do as a graduation gift? And he picked Caribbeans and Italy. And he went to Tortola. Mm-hmm. And he cooked at a private resort, 5-star resort. Mm-hmm. What was the name of it? Trade Winds. Trade Winds 5-star resort on Peter Island.
So real quick, guys, I'm gonna just about this time when your sauce been cooking for like 10 minutes, you want to take a piece of basil that has the stalk on it, because the stalk has a lot of the flavor, but people don't realize that. And you want to just let that drop on here. Look at this down here. Right, so let this cook in here. It will just submerge itself, wilt down.
It'll wilt down? It won't disappear.
No. It will just cook and just take it out later. So right now we're going to get started on the chicken and panko and all that stuff. So chicken, let me just explain how we're doing this. First, we're going to make, the reason it's called chicken parm is not because there's parmesan on top of the chicken, is because there's parmesan in your breadcrumbs. And so you take your breadcrumbs, they're not, breadcrumby enough for you. Just squish them up some more.
So what kind of breadcrumbs are these?
These are panko breadcrumbs. You can make breadcrumbs yourself, just drying out bread. If you know how to make croutons, you can do the same thing. You dry out your bread and you cut it, or you crunch it.
So, okay, let me just see. For those of you who want to try that, you toast your bread, dry it, like, does that drying out toasting?
So, yeah, so you want to take some older bread that is dry itself. You just leave some bread out overnight, usually will do the trick. And then you toss it in the oven on a low heat for about an hour, and it'll just dry it out even more. And then you just slice it. And you should.
How do you get the seasoning in it?
In breadcrumbs?
Yeah.
This is just dried oregano and dried, just these seasonings. I just toss them in here, mix them all in.
So you did it. So the breadcrumbs.
So you can't buy breadcrumbs like this, Italian breadcrumbs. But if you want breadcrumbs, just buy breadcrumbs and put the same seasonings we use, the dried oregano and dried basil, in there. You should be good. So what we're going to do with this, we're going to take a handful, not too much because you still want it breadcrumby. Take a handful of these, toss them in there.
That's mozzarella cheese?
Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese.
Right. Our Parmesan cheese goes in the crust, our mozzarella goes on top. Just for consistency reasons, mozzarella melts better. So, we have this. Then, can you grab me a little bowl right there? That bowl I was using earlier.
This one?
The plastic one. So, we're going to make an egg wash. And so, our egg wash is just, there's two types of egg wash. There's egg whites and there's the whole egg. We're going to use the whole egg for this one.
So what I do on my pastime is I find cooking gadgets for him because I get excited. So I'm excited because last night when I couldn't sleep, or this morning at 3 o'clock in the morning because I'm on jet lag, I found this really good thing that hooks to the edge of the bowl. And you crack the egg in it and it drains all the egg white out without having, it separates the egg. Really, really simple. He's looking at me crazy now. Watch. He's going to use it on the show.
So here we have our egg wash. Like I said, you can season in multiple stages. You can season your egg wash too. Just move around, try not to break it up.
Break it up, right.
Which make it harder to take out. Remember when your basil's in there, try not to break it in pieces because you want to just pick it up by the stalk and take it all out. That's another reason why I put the stalk in, so you can just let it do like that.
Can I put a top on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Try to find the one with the screen if you can.
Yes.
So, if you want to put a top on your sauces when you're cooking them, there's a couple things happening. One, they're popping on your stove, and two, your water is cooking out. If you put a top on it, the steam is going to hit the top and then fall back into your sauce. So it won't cook out anything. You'll just end up with the same consistency sauce. which is good if you want to cook the flavors in without making the sauce thicker. So right now, you can find a regular pot actually. So, all right, thank you. So this top will keep your splatter down and here.
Oh, 50 years old.
It will keep your splatter down, and at the same time, it will let your water cook out, and you can switch this out with the regular one later. So I'm gonna throw this over here.
Hashtag I bought that for him late at night one night. See?
So pat down your chicken so it's dry. Salt it and pepper it to taste. And the reason you pat down your chicken, I'm sure I've explained this before, is because the dry, wet seasoning thing. Your dry seasoning stick better to a moist canvas and not a wet canvas.
So far that was pepper and salt.
Right, we're just peppering and salting. A lot of our flavors coming from our sauce and our panko, so you don't want to over.
So this is a new thing for me that I learned when we were in Italy together, was that I over season my food. I just come from a family where we love the seasoning. So I salt and pepper and season salt and garlic powder and just a lot of seasoning, and so the taste it only had salt, pepper, and something else that they made, but they didn't drown the food in all these dry seasonings. So I'm still learning it, but that's always just a good point that I keep reminding myself.
All right. So, like one of my favorite dishes, the one that got me to realize that salt was just better than nothing. Well, salt was better than too much. Was I saw a chef in the Caribbean. He made a whole chicken roast, and the only seasoning on it was salt and oil. And that chicken was so good. I think it was the wood. He had wood smoked it, but he didn't season it. It was just the flavor of the wood that he had used to cook it with.
Back to my story earlier, the first place he went to was Tortola, where he cooked at a restaurant for over 30 days. And it would have it that the day he arrived, he was going to be the chopping boy, right? Mm-hmm. And the day that he arrived, he's so tall, his arm is across my face. The day he arrived, the sous chef or the sous chef?
Right.
The sous chef leaves.
The day I get there, the sous chef is saying her goodbyes. And so another line cook steps up to the sous chef position. And so, lo and behold, perfect. They don't need to hire anybody else to be a line cook. They got me fresh off the boat to help them out. And they weren't going to go easy on me because it's not like America where they have the same labor law intensive kitchen.
He worked 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
Straight out of high school in a 5-star hotel. Literally the first meal I had, I'm in the restaurant eating a meal. I have no idea what he's doing in the back. And I have this mango wrapped.
Yeah, the plantain wrapped snapper.
And I'm going, this is insane. It was so good. Little did I know until the next day, he was back there working hours on shaving the plantain so that it was perfectly perfectly aligned so they can wrap each of the pieces of fish.
Yeah, not only that, but they had me working the line because they were down to cook. They couldn't afford to not have someone on the grill or have someone, making salads or anything.
It was the greatest lessons for him because he cooked really hard there for a month. Then he went to Italy and cooked really hard in Italy for 5 weeks. And then he decided if he wanted to become a chef.
Yeah, so I love it. I'm never going back. But if you can come over here and take a look at what we're doing. Right now we are dredging our chicken. So we're
dredging?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what dredging means, but dredging is the act of coating it in flour and then putting it in egg. That whole process.
So
another word of coating.
Right, you're coating it.
So just for oil, so for the order, you make sure it's down, but you take all that lick off of it. Then you put just salt and pepper on it.
Right.
And then you dredge it, which is putting flour on it. And then after you put flour on it, you coat it in the egg.
Right. So dredging is the entire process of flour then egg.
Okay.
There's another way we can do it, which is
bring that over
egg
here?
then flour, which is what you do for fried chicken. You go egg then flour, which is something different. This is a German way of doing it. This is how they make schnitzels. They go flour then egg, and what that does is the egg ends up on top of the flour and gets like a nice coating that's nice and liquidy.
So this is the German way or the other way?
This is the German way. The way we're used to is the way that fried chicken is made, which is egg then flour, so that you don't have a moist outside.
Okay.
So we're going to plop that back down.
Okay.
We're going to
And
get
what
rid of
is-
that oil right there.
Yeah, and what is
And put it in this
schnitzel?
pan. So schnitzel is, if you can imagine, if you were going to put chicken on a stick.
Is that enough?
Yes, that's. Well, no. I'm sorry. I meant the whole thing.
Okay.
So imagine we take this right here. We take this chicken breast. Imagine we flatten it out, cut this into 3 strips long ways, and then dredge it.
When you
and
say
then-
flatten it out, you mean like literally
yeah,
pound
we
it?
put something on top, pound it down so it's probably twice as long widthwise. We cut it lengthways like this, and then we deep fry those in breadcrumbs. And it's what you would imagine it to look like before you stick a stick on it and eat it like a popsicle.
And that's called a schnitzel?
A schnitzel.
A schnitzel.
Schnitzel. Schnitzel. Yeah.
Schnitzel.
It's very, very, very German.
I was just trying to
Yeah, so at this point, the basil is about ready to just fall apart at any touch. Something you gotta learn when you're cooking is sometimes you could just let stuff sit there for too long. There we go. Tired of that. Alright, so just throw this away. Because after you've cooked it for a certain amount of time, it's got no more flavor to give you. So you stir this in. That's dirty.
Okay, I'll get you another.
Yeah, so we stir this in. A leaf got loose. Some tomato got loose too on the floor. Alright, so while my oil's heating up, I'm gonna wash my hands. We're gonna look back at this stuff real quick. Look what you guys are saying. Hey Kathy, hey Sonia, hey Linda, Monica, everybody. Alright, so looking at this in, yes, awesome, yeah, that's about cool. So looking at this again, cook time about 15 minutes, prep time 15 minutes, cook time 45 minutes. Total time is about an hour and a half. We're going to go over the next little step, which is getting our mix. This mix, throwing that all in here. Take this chicken, plop it down like that. Just toss it. I suggest you press the breadcrumbs into your chicken a little bit so it sticks on there. The only thing I would say be careful of in this step is add too much cheese. Too much cheese will make it not sticky because cheese doesn't really stick to chicken like this. It's more of the breadcrumb.
Those that don't know how to shake it like that, just press it in.
Right, so as my auntie says, if you don't feel comfortable tossing, which is what this is, and you toss by going out and then flipping back, like a little whip. So, sorry, they're plugging me in. So you can toss like just in here until your oil heats up. We come over here, look at the oil. This is how much oil we're using, just about. Like that. Pretty thin layer. You don't want to get too much oil in your breadcrumbs or else you'll mess it all up. So, Mom, can you separate that from that and put it on a separate plate?
I can.
Awesome. So, we're going to start frying this off while this cooks. At any point, really, you can start cooking your pasta. I'm going to show you how to do that. You take some extra virgin olive oil, put it in a little water. And I'm not sure if it's a myth or not, but it's supposed to keep the pasta from sticking to itself. Auntie says it's true. I don't know what's up with this top, but I'm going to leave it for later. And then what I do is I throw a little salt in there too. Like I said, you season at multiple stages, that way you don't over season at any one stage. And then you throw your pasta in once that gets boiling. You know, let it roll, boil. Throw your pasta in. I'm sure you guys don't need too much explanation on how to make pasta. But for this, we're going to go al dente, which if you don't know, that's when, if you squeeze it with your finger, and this goes for rice too. When you squeeze rice with your finger, the main goal is in between your fingers, you'll see 2 little separate rice pods. If you cook it too much, you'll see 3 rice pods instead of 2. When you squeeze your rice together al dente, it should bust into 2 pieces, not squish into a bunch of little mush. Same thing with your spaghetti. When it's right, I suggest you put it in your mouth and just chew it and get it to the al dente you like it. Feeling it doesn't really work too well because it's more about the mouth feel.
I'm ready to chew it. I'm ready for us to.
So
Really great.
about that, I'm going to get triangular. We're going to fast forward through time to finished product. So the plate with the, I see. Awesome. So we're going to, so guys, most of the flavor here is in this sauce. If you're not cooking this sauce, so how you like it, you're going to be disappointed with the final product. So hold on a second. Let me, so I was going to help her, my camera lady out. So chicken parm. A quick note on it. Very, very, very delicious if you're cooking it how you like it. I add crushed red pepper. So we're going to add a little crushed red pepper to the sauce. Very, very little because crushed red pepper spreads. My spatula. I misplaced my spatula, guys.
This one?
No, my wood one. That's alright.
My job.
I will take control and toss this because I've been doing
Scary here.
doing this for a minute. Alright, so this should
Just
be.
gotta say, other kids stress their parents out by driving fast. He does not. He stressed me out by wanting to make new sauces and wanting to flip them all in the air.
She stresses me out whenever she cuts anything because she cuts with her fingers out.
And I'm left-handed, so
All I'm saying,
it's all backwards.
I'm over here. No. Whenever I see her cutting, because she goes with the knife, she goes, "Oh, we'll just cut like this, and just hope my fingers don't come off."
Well, maybe I'll give him back some gray hairs that he's given me. Maybe, I don't know.
So you want to take this and always go presentation side down. For this, it's the fat side, not the yellow side. You go face down in the oil. And you want to make sure your oil is nice and hot. That way your breadcrumbs don't soak up too much oil.
Wait, can you show me being prepared?
All right, so this is my mom over here being prepared.
This is me being the
This is me grabbing my.
Oh man!
This is me grabbing a new utensil because I dropped the last one. New utensil. So, like tongs or little poker fork. I'm not sure what this is called actually.
Fork? A big old fork?
A big fork. I'm pretty sure that's not what it's called.
Big fork, y'all know.
That's not what it's called. Don't go to your job interview and they ask you what's this called. You say big fork. So, our sauce is cooking. Right. Please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It.
Right. And so, right. So these are our three components right now: our chicken, our pasta, and our sauce. And that's basically it for the entire dish. Basil and whatnot. Chicken parm is versatile. Very, very versatile once you get those three, or mostly the two. It's this and this. And then this you can swap out for whatever wheat or bread, or you can make a pizza. I was looking up recipes and I saw a chicken parm pizza where they did this, and instead of spaghetti they did pizza dough. And they just piled it like that. It looks so good, but my favorite is I make this into sliders. Sliders being, I go Hawaiian bread, chicken, this sauce. This sauce is what makes it the same dish every time.
And the Hawaiian bread makes it amazing.
Yeah, so if you're making a slider and you want to use my recipe, they always use Hawaiian bread. I haven't made a slider without Hawaiian bread in
Years.
almost 3 years now, because I found the recipe, Doghouse. They make a really good burger.
Can I share something else with with the marinara sauce that's really delicious? Is if you make meatballs out of whatever, you can make them out of turkey, chicken, whatever your favorite meat is, and then you take a croissant roll and you put the meatball inside a croissant roll and you put some Parmesan, some marinara sauce over it, and you close it up, kind of, and you can brush it with a little egg white to make it stick, and put it in the oven. And when it comes out, brush it with a little bit of butter and garlic. It's perfect for an appetizer when you have guests. It's a hearty appetizer that really sustains your guests. He always burns himself. That's what stresses me out.
Yeah, so you might pop stuff with a little oil. It's okay. It ain't nothing. So when you're making this, you want to remember we're doing this seared on both sides. Oh. Okay. So we're doing this for the texture more than anything. It's going to keep cooking in the oven, but so we're taking this. Look away. So we're taking this, right? And we're going to cook this. This is already probably 15-20% cooked. Right, we're going to pile some of this on top and some mozzarella and Parmesan and make it good. Yes, if you can grab that spoon over there, that'd be perfect. Nice. So she's going to spoon some of this over. You pretty much cover it all up. Right?
One more.
No, that's it. Because we're going to use some more for later. Come over here. Take a nice heapful of this. Pile it on top. This right here is mozzarella. This right here is the good stuff. Ouch, that's hot. Oh, that is good though. It's hot and delicious. So we're going to throw this in the oven. And we're going to let it finish cooking for about 15 minutes at about 250 degrees so you don't burn the cheese.
250?
Right. And it's going to just melt the cheese on top. And so, this is about the time where
And will
toss.
the chicken finish cooking?
Yeah. So, this is when we toss our pasta in. And you're going to cook that chicken for about 20 minutes until the inside is no longer pink, until it's white all the way through. A note when you're cooking pasta, don't break your pasta. Right? I know. A lot of ooze.
Pasta.
A lot of, oh my gosh.
Okay, type your name in so that Vicky and I know that we're not alone. And you break. I tear my pasta up before I go in the water.
In Italy, the guy told me don't ever break a pasta. So I learned it in Italy. I'm gonna keep it that way. He said if you break your pasta, you're changing how they wanted you to enjoy it, and you're changing the length of the pasta how you feel it should be. Where every pasta I learned, pasta is the shape it is for a reason. this pasta is small and lean. That way it catches the sauce easier. It catches thinner sauces, like tomato sauce and whatnot.
Kathy says she do too.
She what? Breaks her. She break. Kathy, thank you very much. So we're all learning something.
Kathleen says she do too. So
Right.
hey, we all not.
You know why? Because you just duplicate the things you saw your parents do.
So keep your pasta how long it is, guys. It's going to take a minute at this stage. This is what most people are trying to avoid. Is this right here.
So you mean this looks so off to me right now. So you mean you wouldn't put this in a larger pan?
No.
Somebody said, well, then they should make pasta pots then, size of pasta.
Right?
Yeah, so the pasta pan pot that you're thinking of would be something like this, where it's wider and you just submerge your pasta water length. But, we cook them in pots. You can't cook them like that. Cooking pasta in a pan isn't taboo at all. You just would start off with a sauce and throw your pasta in it when it's about halfway done. But you want to start off like this. Just easing your pasta into the water gently, not rushing it by breaking it.
So what I'm seeing is a big part about cooking is to be patient. Hashtag I need to get some.
The best chefs in my life, in my early ages, were my uncle and my grandfather, and they cook forever. They start dinner with their breakfast. It's really amazing. But it turns out great every time. So
I think it's a great, Jelani's had a great combination. His teachers, some of the chefs that taught him, some of them never went to formal school, but they have some of the top restaurants in Italy. They learned from their parents. And Jelani was learning from them, and then he went to Le Cordon Bleu, but he's always acknowledged that his first teachers was his granddad and his uncle, because they can really cook. We have a cooking family. And there's some meals. Remember when you cooked oxtails? He cooked oxtails at Le Cordon Bleu, and they were horrible.
Yeah.
And he came home and said, okay, my family does it better.
Yeah, because I had to realize that Le Cordon Bleu is French cuisine, and French cuisine is, while Le Cordon Bleu is very expansive in what they're teaching you, is very expansive in the realm of French cuisine. And so we're not going to, they didn't teach us how to make oxtails how I like them, or gumbo, or any kind of Mexican food, or none of that. The Mexican food's my favorite, so I was feeling deprived of Mexican food. We made Kobe beef tacos, but that's not Mexican food. I was so excited when I saw Taco Day, and then we ended up making French tacos, which kind of let me down. But yeah, 2017 my year of soul food and healthy cooking, and I'm gonna merge those two, I'm sure, somehow.
And I'm going to be right there with them, because I love them both. I love healthy cooking and I love soul food. And what I recommended, and Jelani will choose, is that on his soul food day, once a month maybe, that he has one of my family members come over. Because my cousin Zena, my cousin Yolanda, my Aunt Fran, my Aunt Sabrina, his Auntie Vicky, who's right behind him, they all are amazing cooks. And when we have a family gathering, I mean, the dishes are just off the chart. And so when we have a family gathering, he stands around and watches them, because you see another level of professional. Some of y'all, some of your parents, some of your grandparents, they're professional, homebred cooks. And so he's in the season where he's meshing those skill sets together and fusing his Le Cordon Bleu with some home cooking and some kitchen chefs.
Which is how we arrive at dishes like this, which aren't Le Cordon Bleu sponsored. Things like this, and Philly cheese and the Japanese stuff we did last week. They don't cover any of that stuff, but now I'm getting into taking what they taught me and applying it to the more realistic dishes.
I'm gonna teach you how to cook a real good, mean, like make them scream peach cobbler.
I was hoping she said peach cobbler too. I was thinking, peach cobbler.
With extra crust. Don't be skimpy on the crust. I mean, make an amazing bite.
Alright, so noodles are cooking. That's in the oven, bubbling away. You want your cheese brown, bubbly, delicious. We're going to go over the ingredients again now that we're done using them all. We went chicken breast halves, egg, breadcrumbs, Parmesan cheese, flour, oil, spaghetti, whole garlic, Roma tomatoes, mozzarella, basil, provolone, and Parmesan cheese for topping. And then prep time, 15 minutes, cook time, 45 minutes. Total time about an hour and a half. Jelani Nichols, Jelani, on Facebook. Chef Jelani, if you want to tag it. Follow me at chefjelani.com. January, we're kicking off a lot of things.
Healthy cooking. Healthy cooking. Speaking of which, can you tell them what you just signed on to do?
Yeah, so I just signed up to be a part of Fit, Fine, and Fab.
Yes. Do you guys know what that is? Hope you know what that is.
So Fit, Fine, and Fab is something that her company and their community is doing, and I'm joining to be a part of it, and it should be pretty great.
It's launching tomorrow, and 5 months of Fit, Fine, and Fab. So it's 5 months of focusing on financial fitness, internal fineness. So the doctor's appointments that you need to do, eyes and blood pressure, and then external fabulosity. So it's 5 months. We're launching it. It's going to be huge. We have people waiting in line to get the URL to register. Tomorrow morning in Pacific Standard Time, Matt and I will go live on Facebook Live on my page, Lisa Nichols fan page, and we're going to launch Fit, Fine, and Fab. 5 months of hitting your, of getting closer or hitting your financial goals, going to the doctor, getting checked, and being healthy. And Jelani is going to be a part of it.
Yes, I will. It is going to be a great experience. So, just strain out your spaghetti. You can leave it here like this. Just about done. Let's see. Alright, sorry guys. Facebook Messenger overrides Facebook Live, I see. Did not know that.
Hashtag no bueno.
Yeah, I did not know that. I'm sure I'll find that setting somewhere, how to change that.
So Johnny jumped on the Fit and Fab, and he is going to show us some healthy meals. We ordered what was it called, Vicky? The containers.
Meal prep.
We ordered meal prep containers yesterday. So one of the things I'm asking my son to do is to lead us in some meal prep. Even if you're not going to do Fit, Fine, and Fab, we all seem to not have enough time. And meal prep can only help us eat better and then save some time, make up on some time that we're doing. Hold on, I got to do my...
Sonia asked, if you do a cookbook, can you share some of your cooking tips for each recipe?
Yeah, definitely. So we're putting together a cookbook now. It should be March is our release date that we're hoping for. I'm hoping for early or mid-February. But yeah, our cookbook, we're going to have 2 that are available at the same time. One's going to be a healthy pescatarian, vegetarian cookbook, and one's going to be really delicious, greasy, buttery food cookbook.
Or one with 2 sections, and we can jump back and forth. So here's what I know. I mentioned pescatarian about a week ago. Jelani challenged me to go pescatarian for the month of February. Pescatarian is where you don't eat any chicken, you don't eat any pork, you don't eat any beef. You only eat seafood. That's the only form of meat protein. So I grew up on meat. I love meat. I love all kinds of meat. I eat it all. And I accepted the challenge. So starting February 1, I'm going to go pescatarian. And the reason why I chose it for February is because I want to do it sooner than later. And it's the shortest month of the year.
Yeah, so I'm pescatarian on a dare, and I liked it. I loved it. So I think pescatarian is a great middle ground if you don't want to go vegetarian or vegan, but you want to, one, get healthy, 2, test resolve.
So I just want you to know that my cousin Vicky, his auntie, is behind the camera going, not me, not me. So I know it's not for everyone, but I figure I've been wanting to back away from red meat anyway, just to see, do 80% less. It's kind of give my body, not for weight loss purposes, but for digestive purposes. I turned 50 last year, and things are not processing. I feel sluggish. I feel like like I'm weighted down. So look what just showed up. OMG.
So this is the beginning. You want to take some of your pasta. You want to put some of that with it. So take some of your pasta. Drop that on top.
I noticed how you swirled it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
see your
I
little
swirl
technique.
I swirl it to build some height, so it's just not all falling. It's more just.
So this has been a place where I've lacked. I can cook a great meal. I'd like to think it's a great meal, but my presentation is always sketchy.
And just spoon some of this over. Make sure it hits both of your targets.
Do you put any salt and pepper on that, or any oil or butter?
Yeah. So right now, yes, thank you. So we're gonna hit it with the whole thing. Like I said, season in all phases. Hit the whole thing with salt. Then you hit the whole thing with a little pepper. Make sure you get it on your spaghetti. And then you get basil. Some fresh basil. I like to go with a good amount of fresh basil. So you just toss it all over. And there you go.
And then is it time for your mother to help you?
And
Look great.
chicken, mozzarella, the marinara sauce.
Kathy said, beautiful plate.
Oh, thank you, Kathy. Thank you, guys. I think my mom, she can look. Yeah, I think she's ready. So we're gonna come over here so she can try that.
Hard job. So you have to know, first of all, I've been eating out of a restaurant for the last, I don't know, maybe 10 days, 10 days. So this is my first home cook experience. So super excited. Wow.
That's the oven. Yeah, this is
Cheesy. It's yummy looking so far. The cheese is amazing.
So guys, don't be afraid to get in on that cheese.
Right.
If you want, there was a recipe.
Am I supposed to cut the noodles, or am I supposed to eat them all long?
Supposed to eat them all.
Well, good
You're
Lord.
changing up the text.
Okay, excuse me. I'm going to eat them long. Look. I'm going to eat them long. So forgive me for however this might look. But I'm just following the chef's order.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Right.
Look at that. Okay. Hard job. I'm glad I got to do it. Mmm.
Yeah. I think that's a good one.
So there's a crunch, that panko crunch on the outside of the chicken. I think I got some marinara on my nose. So good. The panko crust on the outside is light, but just enough to have that little crunch. And then it's moist on the inside. And I can taste the marinara sauce that you
Right.
put under cheese.
Right.
But it's not dominating. Sometimes the sauce can be dominating. It's not. I didn't really put a lot of this sauce on it, because I remember you had, see, go right here, guys. This right here, that layer of sauce right there is everything. That's making it pop with taste. That's good. Just in case. Would you like some, son? Because I've
been cooking this, testing it out already, so I'm good. So guys, when you're making this, remember a lot of your flavor comes from the sauce, as you can tell. You want to take your time to make that really good. Roast your tomatoes, roast your garlic, use the seasonings, take your time. And then you just blend it all together and cook it. And then, honestly, roasting the tomatoes and roasting the garlic are the main point of this. It's not anything technical. It's not a chef's secret. It's you build it on good flavors, and then you come out with a great meal.
Oh, that's a good point. You build it on good flavors.
Right,
you
so
come out with a great meal.
like as she said, when we just had roasted tomato, roasted garlic, blended up, that already was a good sauce.
Right.
And so you cook it together with, what's my oven doing? I don't know. I'm gonna check what my oven is doing.
I don't care about what the oven is doing. This, promise me you guys will make this. Now you can watch the old again. This, especially your family is used to the same old, same old. Look at this. This is a great.
The same ingredients you always have: tomato, garlic, chicken.
Yeah, you didn't do any. You didn't go get any.
Only thing you
special.
might have to go get is breadcrumbs if you don't want to make it out of bread. But if you don't want to go to the store at all, just get some bread out your cabinet. But breadcrumbs are the only thing. It's just, it's really simple, but the way you put it together, a lot of it's the layering, and that comes in this. It's a lot of cheese and a lot of, the camera lady said that's what she likes. Yeah, so this is one of those, you cheese as much as you want.
I'm feeding the camera lady now.
You sauce it as much as you want. My camera lady is my hardest critic, guys. Some things I make, she's like, yeah, it's all right. So
okay, tell us how it is. She's still chewing. She's still chewing.
Good. It's real good.
She's licking her lips. Hold on.
No.
She says it's real good.
She won't let me turn the camera around, but she licking her lips.
All right, save me some.
What'd you say?
Save me some.
My camera lady wasn't a fan of chicken parm.
I wasn't.
Mm-mm.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey,
that's
you.
really good.
Say something.
Hey guys, make this. It's really interesting how the flavors fit together. They all come
Nice
together.
seasoning. Your seasoning came out real good on
Say it
that.
again.
Thank you.
Your seasoning came out real good on that.
So the seasoning is really simple.
And noodles
Aside
just
from
right.
salt and pepper, it's oregano and basil. That's it. Red pepper if you want. For spicy folks, we like red pepper. But yeah, it's a simple meal when you look at it, ingredients, but the making it.
So this dish is not supposed to be a spicy dish, right?
No, it's more of a refreshing summertime, springtime dish. But over the years, I've turned it into more of a bar food with the burger and fries on the side. But it's supposed to be a fresh tomato, basil, refreshing dish.
That'll be
that
good
you
as
drink
a
with like
sandwich.
lemonade. Mm-hmm.
And one time, Jelani made this Parmesan chicken years ago at a party. I let him practice on me at my parties, and he made chicken Parmesan, and he put them individual, just on little. We had it on little appetizer plates, and people with a little piece of bread underneath, and people just had chicken.
Open face parm sandwich.
Yeah, an open faced parm sandwich, and people loved it. They've been requesting it ever since.
Is this recipe on Facebook?
Yes, the recipe is up on Facebook. It was the thing I posted right before we went live. So yeah, just go check it out. We'll be posting the recipe again for people who missed out in the link in the description for this video. So yeah, check it out if you want to make this at home. It's fairly simple. You shouldn't have to go buy anything like the last dish where you have to buy all of that stuff, like hoisin and bok choy and stuff. Yeah, but for this one, make it however you want. Make it at home. It takes about 45 minutes to be done, but all the work is about 20 minutes worth.
And toast you a piece of garlic bread with that, or not. Fit fine and fab tomorrow.
or not.
Or
yeah,
not.
So
Your cousin Zena said, good job.
oh, thank you, cousin. So yeah, guys, chefjelani.com. Follow me. We'll be here again next Sunday. We're doing every Sunday.
Vanna Black.
Don't ask me how long we're doing it, because there's no end in sight yet. But we're doing this every Sunday. Hey, JP. Hey, Sonia. Hey, guys. Nice to see you all here.
And remember that in the future, he's going to start doing Zoom. We get on Zoom, and he's going to actually walk through a meal with you, where you actually have everything that you need. He'll give you the ingredients ahead of time. You go shopping. You have to register for this class. This is not, he's, sharing just on Facebook Live just to share with you guys.
Go here.
But this is where you go.
ChefJelani.com. We're doing 2 different versions. You can sign up for the personal class where you pick a meal and we cook it together. Or you can sign up for the predetermined class, which is once a month. We're doing a certain meal and we all come together on Zoom. I think it's a max of 300 people or 400 people, so you should sign up for that. because these videos are getting about 4,000 views. So you want to sign up and get in on those before the spots run out per month. But yeah, so there's two versions. You can sign up for the monthly, we know what day, what time, and that's one version. Or if you go to Chef Jelani and inquire about the one-on-one, where you pick a meal, we schedule a date together, I go out, make a recipe, we buy the ingredients, and then we cook it together, start to finish, and I answer your questions one-on-one. But yeah, so next Sunday, we're doing this all the time. Go on Facebook, like the page, on the website for the newsletter. We're going to be releasing our tips probably this week. We've been talking about it for about a month now, and then that's going to be the precursor, like when you said, to the book, which is a lot of tips and a lot of tricks and a lot of recipes. So yeah, going over there, we will be enjoying the fruits of our labor over here, and I highly encourage you to make this. It is very good. It is a twist on chicken and pasta. Just throw some marinara sauce and some cheese in the right places, and you got chicken parm. So yeah, we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.